everyone, and welcome to the Summoners War World Arena Championship 2026, day number 2 of our Europe preliminaries. Bringing you all of the action is, of course, myself, Sam, joined by Mr. Sei Shizo. Now, yesterday, Sei, we had a fantastic day of matches. We've got some real bangers coming up today as well. How excited are you for this one?
I'm very excited because this time around we have a lot of people playing that already made it to World Finals before. So let's see if they can do it again, because first they have to do the prelims, then they have to do the Europe Cup. So they're definitely not there yet this year, and there's all to play for.
Definitely. It's like you mentioned there's some decorated players from Europe that are taking part today, wanting to get back onto that Europe Cup stage, maybe in those World Finals as well later on down the year. But what a fantastic weekend we've got. All of this to do with Summoners War. We are in our 10th edition of the SWC as well, so we've got another 6 matches coming up today. Say, I mean, yesterday, take us through it. I mean, we saw maybe some highlights, maybe some things that upset us a little bit with the stuff that was happening in terms of the play. Are you expecting kind of more of the same compared to what we saw over in that Korean qualifier?
Well, it's difficult to say because stack pre-ban is definitely a different beast. It definitely makes something where, okay, what do I have to pre-ban that doesn't get played for any of those matches? And we have seen different styles with that already. Stack pre-banning going for counter picks, so those counter picks can't be locked in if you lock in specific teams. But what you can also do is just lock out cores where the main core unit isn't on the field for any of those matches. But let's see what they will do today.
Exactly. These players have seen yesterday's competition already, so maybe you've taken some notes, a little bit of homework. And for all of you guys, as you know it by now, our preliminaries, we do have a double elimination best of 5. So you need a total of 2 wins to make it through to the Europe Cup. You're allowed 1 loss technically, but if you do lose today, you are going to be joining us at next weekend, where the road might get a little bit harder to get through to that Europe Cup. We've obviously got a prize pool for all of the people that get to that Europe Cup, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, receiving some nice little money. And the schedule, we've got plenty of action coming from the SWC this year. The Europe Cup on September 26th. Put it in your calendars already, and maybe even put the November 14th World Finals already in your calendar, because we're going to be filling up those places with our players from the different regions. 3 from the Europe Cup, 3 from the other regions, 2 from China, and already confirmed is Skit from the Open qualifier in Korea. He's got a long time to wait, say, maybe a few balance patches in between as well to see exactly what he's going to be coming up against right there, but it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to hand it over to you again, though, for anyone that wasn't here yesterday, to explain a little bit about these stack bans, say.
Yeah, so once again, we're having the stack pre-ban. We have seen it yesterday already in the Korean Open qualifier. We have seen it yesterday for the day 1 of the European qualifier as well. Stack pre-ban is slightly different. In the very first set that they're playing, we're not going to have any pre-ban. So all of the units are available, which makes it in the meta where we had Irration or Stark as the most common unit out there. Being first pick, definitely having an advantage. Currently, maybe not as much anymore because a lot of things are first up. But then we go into the pre-ban and we start stacking those pre-bans. As you can see over here, first match, Megumi and Jaeger were out, which means any of the sets coming after cannot be playing those units. And then you add more and more on top of those. So at some point, we have seen it, for example, in the match of yesterday with One For All and Famicom, we're just locking out all of the LDs. We have seen it in other matches where we're just locking out core units, where we start removing Vanessas, Olivers, core speed leads, any of those kind of things. There's a lot of options and strategies that you can do with this. Because, for example, let's say that you want to open up your Gianna or your AoECC playstyle, ban out that Hey Gang. If you want to go for a Sonya speed cleave, ban out that Leo. But it does also signal to your enemy, what are you planning to do? So let's see if your enemy can maybe snipe that Sonya of picking that earlier, or are we just trauma pre-banning or trauma stack pre-banning in this case? Whatever worked in moving that one for the future matches out there. But let's see what the right strategy is on all of those.
What an explanation there, Say. That was fantastic. I also had just spotted then, in that very first draft that they showed on it, the first pick Gyu. Might be a little bit of a while since we're going to see that in this year's SWC. Interesting to find out. And like we've said there, during the whole of the stream, I'm sure chat will let you know if you join in at any point, kind of what's happening with those stack bans. You will see them on the screen as well during the actual matches, so you can keep up to date with exactly what style they might be looking to play. Will those one-trick ponies get away with it, or are you kind of dealing your hands a little bit too early, showing I'm thinking I want to do some speed contesting, and hey, I've already banned that Leo out, but obviously our SWC 2026 prediction event is back with a fresh new look. Make your predictions and solve the quizzes during the preliminaries to earn some emblems and other rewards along the way. Say, did you get the question right yesterday?
I always do get those questions right because I do check the video. It's an open book exam right there. Just check the video and then you see it's like, oh, which player lost this one? Well, let me fast forward to the part where we see the player losing. I'll vote for that one just to get a little bit of extra emblems. And why we're taking those emblems? Well, because we want to get more scrolls, especially that SWC scroll, because that is where we can select specific units. But in the end, you know what you will get.
Exactly. We're not actually promising anything right there because you're probably not going to get it, let's be honest. Well, you may do. You may do. You may be like some of our players from yesterday where we saw a hell of a lot of LDs as well. And I think that might be a topic for today's players and bracket as well. Say, Europe has definitely improved in terms of the box that we've now carrying through to any of these World Final competitions. But some of these players have also been there and done it on the big stage before. It's their time to shine. Let's see if they can bring it forward into this. We're going to show you our bracket for today. Now, Say, I think you would know most of the names that are on this bracket.
Yeah, I would know all of the names on the brackets over here, but there's a few matches standing out for me. Smokes and Neff is actually a direct repeat from the day 3 of last year's preliminaries. In which case, Smokes at that time made a big upset against the winner from the year before 2024, Neff, where he 3-0'd Neff. This year, both of the players have a definitely widened LD box, but they also do share a lot of LDs. Then we go to match 2, Cyber Opa, also known as Cyber Ninja from last year, against, well, I would say streamer fan favorite Obabo. Don't have to explain too much about that. Then we go into Sambicep Ismo, also definitely very well-known names, and we finished off with Tech Tech against Inkroyd.
Yeah, this is an almighty bracket that we've got for our Europe preliminaries day 2. And remember, if they do lose today, we will see them next weekend. But who can already secure their spot alongside Pafix and Famicom that have made it through to our Europe Cup? Am I right there? No, I'm wrong.
No, Malignant and
Yeah.
Pafix, correct, yes.
There we go. I knew I'd make one mistake on that one, but maybe he'll make it through anyway. Maybe that's a caster, what's the opposite? A caster luck, not a caster curse right there.
Or maybe you dropped the cast curse right now, and I was like, that could happen. It could happen.
Sorry, guys. Sorry for that one. I mean, yeah, but say, like you said, our first match is already going to be Smokes versus Neff. 2 players that we know a lot about. We've seen them around European leagues. We've seen them around SWCs in yonder year as well. But let's have a look at Smokes right here. There's a lovely little Aragorn that might be contested between these 2 guys.
Well, we actually see a lot of contested units because the Dark Aragorn is contested, the Yeon Hong is contested, and Neff did also pick up a... So that one is also contested. Then we also have from the new collab, we have from the Freerun collab, in the case of Smokes, there's a Dark Start, but in the case of Neff, there is a Light Freerun, which are both one of the highest win rate units in the game right now. So this game is going to be very interesting to see of where are these LDs gonna land. But because of that, I was checking a little bit of their stats. They also lose against this exact same kind of comp. So let's see which one of the 2 players is actually gonna go maybe more towards that comp rather than just playing their own comp. That is a big question. See Neff here on the screen. Once again, player that has been here many times, contender for 23, even making it all the way to World Finals at 24. Last year, made it to the prelims, as mentioned, was actually losing to Smokes at that moment. So he definitely wants to be here for revenge.
Yeah, it's all about revenge. Doesn't play a lot of matches right there, but a few more, I think, recently with his new streaming setup. I mean, both of these players as well, Say, are streamers. They're going to have to contest with knowing that people can see what they're currently playing. Is it hard to then suddenly change it up?
I would definitely say that it's hard to change it up. Sure, you could maybe go into goodwill battles against friends and kind of test the waters if you rerun something. But it's always easier to just actually know, like, okay, if I do a skill 2 over here, it's going to kill or not going to kill. And that is something, if you change builds, you don't exactly always know that.
Exactly. Well, 2 LD Sackers, 1 semi-final spot. Neff's fridge might be the most famous in Europe, but you'd better keep it shut, because everything that gets near Smokes could go up in flames. That Dark Aragon being locked in very quickly there, Say, for Neff.
Yeah, that was a 0.1 second lock-in right there. Smokes playing a lot of Megumi on the leaderboards as well. Going for a very early ragdoll. Also a unit that is shared between the two players, but normally see a ragdoll in 3 and 4 position rather than in a second position already, which is pretty interesting because Aragorns are not really known to be critting units. Neff could fully draft a non-crit team right now with a Shield, most of the time low crit. Vanessa's are higher crit, but it's still single target. So interesting drafting style on both sides already.
Yeah, you can see it there. Quick answer for that Shiho as well, coming out from Smokes with the Josephine. Obviously wants to kind of interrupt and cut him with a turn of its own. And Lima, recently buffed, say that's a lot of immunity and invincibility coming out.
I'm loving that same pick right there, because normally Josephine, 3 turns on that shield, we just make it 1 turn. The Lima itself, one of the hardest counts on the Lima, is actually a Seimei. So Seimei is probably not going to make it to the field. I'm not too sure about this Legolas pick, though. I would have rather seen Neff go for a double support setup because he already has a good bit of damage packed up in the first 3 units. But let's see what Smoke says as a final unit right here.
Yeah, he's got his final 5th pick, actually, say, over the last 3 seasons. They've played 6 times. Neff is winning 4-2 overall at the moment. But will Bella be the answer for Smokes in this one?
Oh, that's a dangerous Bella right there. I'm definitely aiming for the ban on that Seimei. She is a must ban. And if Seimei leaves the field, you probably have to respect that Lima on the other side. Or you go for the damage, which is that Bella.
Yep, yeah, you're going to take out the damage. Are you going to take out the protection right there? You've got a Legolas that can obviously steal some of that stuff as well, though, say. But, I mean, in all honesty, the first, it's banning out the Josephine and the Legolas has been banned out. So we've respected there the Seimei coming through. So probably going to have speed lead for both of them, the 28 and the 33 for Smokes and Neff. In our SWC 2026 Europe preliminaries, it's the match 1 set 1 of day number 2.
Interesting respect on that Legolas. I think he was expecting that to do a lot of damage, but now the big question, Shio, can you connect your stun? Does actually connect the stun.
Yeah, it does manage to get that stun on the Lima. I mean, likely built on Violence. You don't want to be seeing it if you're Neff, and that stun on the Aragorn, pretty huge.
Yeah, huge stun right there. Getting the additional turn, which gives Lima extra chance for additional turn, did not actually get it.
No, didn't get it right there. You've got Bella with all skills available right here. Shihu getting stripped, getting those dots as well. That's great play.
Yeah, that's a great play right there. Also critting with the Seimei. That's not what you want to see when your enemy is having that ragdoll on the field.
Yeah, just getting some more attack bar coming through right there. There's an opportunity eventually for Aragorn, but I don't know if Lima will cut him first there, say.
Lima will definitely cut in first because of that Seimei proc right, or the Seimei hit right there. Oh, but this additional turn gives the stun potential once again. But big question, do you send it off element? He's not sending it off element, going for the non-risky play right there. Doesn't manage to get the right stuns right there, so we have start of the end coming in and an additional turn on this Lima.
Yeah, but that additional turn takes her out of that invincibility and the immunity right there. Like you said, Seimei being on the field is so protective for Neff.
Yeah, Seimei is really good, but the big issue is the Bella doesn't really care about the Seimei. It's one of those units that just deals additional damage, artifact style of damage, so it doesn't matter too much. Also, this Vanessa is taking the procs that you would have rather seen on this Aragorn.
Definitely so right now. We've got that life protect on the Shiho right there. It means you're going to have to eventually kill it probably another 2 more times after this, but it's worth it, I think.
Yeah, he goes for it once, but then we also have the protection with the alter ego. Good damage coming on that defense break. Do we go for strips right now?
Yeah, strips. Do you want to get some slows appearing on the field as well? Does manage to hit on the Vanessa right there. You can kill and maybe bounce.
Yeah, you could kill and maybe bounce, but you also have to fear this Aragorn right now. If the Aragorn goes online, yep, we're pushing back that Aragorn, getting the additional turn, so probably some more pushbacks. You can go for the 5-shot right now. It's going to be a lot more damage. No, he's just trying to get pushbacks, but not a single pushback activated on that double hit right there.
Yeah, it feels bad when you don't actually get it from kind of using a different skill that was available right there. And he is coming fast, say.
Oh, there you have it. We got the summoning of the Oathbreakers right there, lowering all of those cooldowns. Good damage flying in right there, but that's one of those things. Bella doesn't care that much about cooldowns because she just wants to use skill 1.
Yeah, she's just providing that damage. So we've gone through one of the skill 3s from Vanessa right there. I mean, it's looking like it could be huge here. If you get another defense break, more damage in, Bella could be gone.
Yeah, Bella could be gone. It's all about the question, where do we stack this skill to? We're definitely going to go for the Bella. Can we actually take it out right now? And not enough damage, but with this skill 2, you definitely do take it out. Great stun on that Lima as well.
Yeah, huge to get that kill. Monkey surviving because of Seimei being on the field there, say.
Yeah, that is what I said. You have to respect Seimeis. I'm a Lima player myself, and one of the things you hate the most on the enemy side of the field is that Seimei.
Yeah, she's just eating it up, and Neff taking that first set point then against Smokes. It's not going to be a repeat of that day 3 from last year at the moment, say. Neff sitting on 1 point. Same, we said it in the draft, maybe was a must ban, but tried to play around it, did Smokes.
Yeah, let's see what we have for pre-bans. It could be still going from Smokes towards Neff on that light Fern. That's definitely an option right there. On the other side, most likely Neff will respect that Lima and take out the Lima. But big question is Smokes going to be taking out a unit that he has seen in the previous match? Or is he preemptively taking out units such as a light Fern?
Exactly like we said, there's so many LDs popping around in Europe right now. Neff going on an absolute streak, I believe, at a tour of Europe recently as well with so many. So there's a lot of options for the first stack ban in this match right here. And obviously you don't necessarily want to get rid of an Aragon because you've both got them, but do you want them to have that pick with it as well? Lima and Fern.
Yeah, we're respecting, I would say, the heavy hitters of the current meta. Lima is one of the most picked units with a high win rate. Fern is the highest win rate with a low pick rate. But then again, it's always one of those units you have to keep in mind. If this one is drafted, I gotta ban it. And once again, Aragorn is the first pick.
Yeah, picking that Aragon coming through. And a quick response, the exact response that Smokes did in that last set, say, with the Megumi and the Shiho.
Yeah, last case we also had Neff having the Shio, so he's definitely giving priority to the Shio over, for example, Yeon Hong, which both of them like to play as well. Once again, we're going to go towards the Josephine on the side of Smoke, so that does enable, once again, also an option for Seimei later.
Yeah, Anavel coming out on the side of Neff, looking to provide some sustain through, but also 3-turn defense breaks could be huge if they're landing.
Yeah, I'm liking that Anavel style right here. It gives a whole bit of protection, whereas most of the time the Josephine doesn't have the highest of accuracy. Could be on the side of Smokes that it might be there, but that is the big question. Also, Aragorn could be good against that Anavel, so drafts are still pretty even.
Ooh, it's changing it out then for another Aragorn coming through and that Dark Zenitsu as well. We know how dangerous he can be, just turn cycling on turn cycling. 5th pick for Neff.
Yeah, it's also a great pair right there. Oh, we're looking at a Sonya, Sonya does mean that we're looking at a Vanessa ban. You have to ban it, otherwise it's just really not going to do all too much. Big question is, though, do you actually go for it or do you bait it? Because on the other side, most likely the Sonya is banned itself as well.
Yeah, exactly. Mind games coming through into our set 2. Banning out then that Aragon wanted to bait it out. We've got speed leads of a 33 versus a 28 between Smokes and Neff here in our Europe preliminaries. It's the set number 2 between these guys. Who's going to get that next point?
Oh, it is going to be a very difficult match for, I would say, all both players. Do we connect the stun? We do connect the stun, but Josephine does have something to say about it.
She does. She's got that skill too. She can look to provide a little provoke and strip going through right there. Is it worthwhile? He's gone for the Anavel. And he has landed.
Yeah, it does connect on that Anavel right there. And that's the big question. When does the Aragorn take its turn? And can the other units maybe prevent the Anavel from taking any proper turns itself?
Oh.
Ooh, that is a great sleep. And that's also a moment I would say just send it because you get good defense breaks across the board. You miss it on one unit because of the immunity, but that's a great hit right there.
Yeah, those defense breaks last 3 more turns as well right there. So you've got this Dark Zenitsu coming through, hitting everyone, getting the speed buff, but obviously this is the moment where Neff can take an advantage.
Yeah, that's a great advantage right there. Aragorn not taking the additional turn that Smokes so much need. It's all or nothing. It's looking like not that much all right now.
No, you can see Neff as well focusing into that Vanessa. Wants to get rid of the extra life that she provides in her skill 3 at the moment. But will this Dark Zenitsu start taking turns? Not yet.
Not yet, and that's also the thing. The Ragdoll is on the field, so everything you do crit, even if you were to fully cycle right now, Ragdoll likes those crits on his allies and himself.
He does. Big hit coming through right there, but maybe, I'm not sure if it's enough yet to kill that Vanessa, but the monkey's following up after. Oh, that might.
Oh, that additional turn right there. Yep, definitely connecting the stun is better than going for the kill. You have other units to finish off the kill. You could even opt to send this skill 1 on the Josephine. Is exactly doing that. Neff is making all the right plays.
Yeah, he's playing fantastically right here, isn't it? So you need some big stuns. Does get 3 though, but obviously Anavel, the important one, was missed.
Yeah, the important one was missed, and we got some alter ego going in, and that's just so much damage once again, plus providing all of the protection in case that the Aragorn might take the extra turn.
Exactly, you can now look to try and finish off potentially that Josephine, or just getting more. Okay, that's going to finish 1 unit for sure.
Ooh, that's a lot of additional turns on the side of Neff, and also all the crucial turns taken right there. And this 2v4 is definitely not going to happen. Are we going to see a reverse completely of what happened last year?
Yeah, it could be so, but Dark Zenitsu does crazy things there, but I don't think he can be this crazy.
I think a pre-nerf Dark Zenitsu with the full rotation could maybe do a thing or two, but the big issue is you don't get full bar from this anymore. And there's still a Ragdoll on the enemy side of the field, but he's definitely trying.
He is definitely trying. Obviously doesn't have any more health, but he's managed to take out 2 units right there.
If it were to take that additional turn right after to cycle back to a skill 2, I could have seen it happen though, especially a pre-nerf one. But therefore, it took a little bit of something in that balance match.
Wow, Neff coming prepared this time around against Smokes in our Europe preliminaries. 2-0 up right there. I think Neff has had 2 great picks in both matches. We saw the Ragdoll, we saw the Seimei. Countered everything that was on for Smokes.
Yeah, it was also interesting to see the Zenitsu coming after the Ragdoll, because in the end, with your Zenitsu, you're guaranteed to crit the whole field all the time, because that unit skills of crit. Everyone is going to have that unit on 100 crit rate. So it's interesting to see Neff picking up, or Smokes picking up that unit after the Ragdoll was already on the field. Big question is, what are we dipping into for the pre-bans right now? Because sure, we can go into signature units, or are we banning out our own units? No, we're going to go for signature units on the other side that we don't own ourselves.
Yeah, we're taking out that Seimei, we're taking out that Dark Zenitsu as well there. I mean, makes sense. Both of them were providing a lot of damage and also sustain in their equal parts right there. Neff with that first pick, seeing a Dark Aragorn again, maybe?
Yeah, definitely Dark Aragorn. And let's see if Smokes learned something from the draft of Neff. Neff is definitely having that Shiho doing very well. That's exactly what I was going to. Steal that unit, because you have seen it do very well on the side of Neff.
Exactly, and any of the buffs that obviously get provided from that Shiho, there's no Seimei on the field that can be coming out, so obviously it's going to sustain a little bit longer. Megumi and a Josephine in answer for those stuns, though.
So we actually have a pretty much reverse draft on both sides right now, which is very interesting to see if Smokes can handle this style of draft, because this is the style that the other person normally does. And there we have the Darkstar plus a Gianna. That is a double stun unit into a Josephine already. Well, that's aiming for a ban right there.
Yeah, I mean, you're signaling it right there. So how is Neff going to play around it? We're seeing a Jaeger come out. Obviously used a lot with Pafix yesterday, partnering it up as well. Maybe needs another sort of form of a defense break.
Yeah, could go for a defense break. Could also go for the full double combos, exactly playing as Pafix was doing yesterday. It might be somewhat difficult to get those units to the right skills. And that's an ISIS right there. Well, guess who's going to get banned?
Yeah, I mean, providing so much with the Oblivion silences, even the absorbs as well now from that recent balance patch there. So I think it's a respectable 5th ban. But if you're Smokes, who are you looking to ban out for the side of Neff?
I think I would be aiming towards, well, it's hard to say. The Gianna's yeah, if you want to have your Gianna good play, then you probably have to ban out that Josephine, and then you just have to bruiser it out if you can deal more damage than these Dragon Knights.
Yeah, will the Dragon Knights come in clutch right here? We've seen how much damage they can do on S2s when in the hands of our Europe preliminary qualifiers as well here. Say, ISIS, like you said, must ban Aragorn has also been taken out then. So a 33 speed lead versus a 28. Our set number 3 of the Europe preliminaries between Smokes and Neff. Neff could advance right here if he wins this set.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the right there, because this Josephine, if the Josephine starts connecting a lot of skills, I think that Smokes might be in big trouble. So let's see if that's actually going to happen. We're going to go for the Megumi on the stun, and we do connect the stun right there. Josephine takes a turn.
Yeah, she's going to cut in. Can you look to provoke that? Gianna does manage to get it as well with the revenge. Can maybe even look to get some more damage through on the S1. Gets the stun in.
Interesting to go for the stun of the Gianna as well. I think it would have been a better stun to go for the Stark, because Stark in the end has great damage. However, that additional turn, taking 2 additional turns right away, Smokes is not liking that.
No, he definitely is. And we've got 2 skill 2s, or a skill 1 coming out there from the Jaeger instead. Not providing too much damage as of right yet, but more stuns. Josephine's loving them.
Yeah, Josephine is loving them, but you have to land on Gianna. Doesn't land on the Gianna. Josephine does not have a passive right now. That is the most Gianna does like it, but misses both. It's not even the best doddering game anymore.
No, and even a resistance there coming through. I mean, you've got that threat state as well, which is going to be super annoying for Smokes to deal with.
But now this is the moment where Dark Stark shines. He has great damage. His skill 2 is similar to Awusa's skill 2, but then it's AoE and it provides stuns, and that's just so much damage every time he gets that skill off.
There definitely is. Megumi is not looking healthy right now, but maybe can land a defense break before he leaves the field.
Yeah, let's see. Or maybe steal the invisibility. No, we're trying to get a defense break, but we're just trying to get this unit off the field, and that little bit of dot damage will do the rest.
It will, and Megumi's still surviving by the skin of his teeth. He can get a provoke right here, or maybe that Shiho does get it.
Yeah, does get it. 2 turns once again, getting those stuns in. This Josephine is so much problems for Smokes on the field.
Yeah, definitely so much. He's landed the bomb though this time round, but the units might not still be alive by the time it goes off.
Yeah, that is the big issue, because you still have an uphill battle against the Chow, and Josephine is just providing so much protection with so many shields that the Dragon Knights can just do their thing and take out units.
Yeah, they can. Even just a skill 1, the dots will be enough to take out that Gianna as well, and Monkey's just getting hit back. Well, got the stun at least.
Yeah, but we still have this Megumi with like 1 HP on the field and a shield, so there's 1 HP and a dream, but that dream is very much working in the favor of Nev.
Oh, and even when it's through that bomb, you've got some more damage coming in. Dark Stark versus the world? I'm not sure.
I'm very sure that ain't gonna happen. He has great damage if he has any units next to him. He's actually on triple revenge, which gives him a lot of attack bar, but it did not work out right here.
It didn't. Neff confirming his place in the semi-finals of today with a 3-0 victory there against Smokes. I must say that was very clean.
That was definitely very clean, but I would also say the additional turns on the side of Neff definitely did help him a lot, which sometimes make things look very easy. It's one of those matches like, oh, that looked easy. But then you also go for the additional turns and like, those were a fair bit as well. But then again, Smokes really had to go for that ban on that Josephine, because once Josephine gets a few bit of extra turns and you have 4 units that stun on the field, yeah, that's just a difficult thing.
Definitely is. It felt like the match of 3 missed bans during the draft, I would say. It's a Seimei, then you had the Ragdoll and the Josephine, and all 3 kind of worked very well in the comp of Neff right there. But we won't be saying fully goodbye to Smokes. We'll just be seeing him next weekend, where he will be in that day 3 European qualifiers. However, Neff is going to be going through to our semi-finals. We're going to have a quick look at that bracket there, say a 3-0 to kick things off to start our day. But our next match being Cyber Opa, otherwise known as Cyber Ninja from yesteryear, and Obabo. I'm pretty sure the chat's about to go off for Obabo.
Yeah, always Obabo, one of the most famous streamers we have here in the tournament. Loves to play with his Dark Energy. Took a little bit of a hit in the last balance patch, but is also picking up the Bella. However, he called the Bella more of a nerf rather than a buff. But it's interesting to see, throughout these tournaments so far, Bella has actually performed. Is she going to perform? Or is Obabo in the kitchen? Because he definitely likes to switch up his whole draft.
Exactly. There's some good sets that he can kind of change around on those different units. We never know until we see kind of that very first set where that Swift set fully is, say. But Cyber Opa as well, his competitor to try and get through this very first round of the Europe preliminaries. If I'm just looking at my stats there, say as well, these guys have faced each other 13 times over the past 3 seasons. Obabo is winning 9-4 right now. There's a real favourite potentially going into this. And we'll slowly have a look at some of the stats from our players. I think we'll be looking at Cyber Opa first. What can you tell me a little bit about him?
Well, Cyber Opa is definitely one of those players that plays a little bit of everything, and you also see that around. But then again, there's also a lot of LDs flying around. We have a Gojo combination with a Nephthys and a Nyx, especially paired with that Lamilia, is super strong. However, it's one of those core comps that if your Lamilia's gone from a pre-ban, can those units still do enough? And then again, there's also a lot of counters to it, because we got Navaras, we got Junos, and there's also a Seimei on the side of Obabo.
There is on the side of Obabo, picking up some more LDs in his box, which was maybe missing from before. Is it finally going to be his year to really put a stamp on Europe and maybe even get through to those world finals? I know a lot of people in chat would definitely want and support that, but like you were saying, say, Obabo, he's known. People can watch what he usually plays. Has he been cooking enough right there? You can see the Etna and the Shiho. He's going to be strong still.
Yeah, the Etna and the Shiho, but also that Sonya. I would still say his Swift wheel set that he likes to pair either on a Sonya or an Etna is one of the best sets out there. It's super tanky, does a lot of damage very fast, and it is on will. So Simple things like Leo just don't work against those.
No, they don't. Or maybe we might see some of those new LDs said. The Mortera, are we feeling that one, or is it too wild?
Well, the Mortera, I think it's similar to what we have seen with other streamers before. Mortera, one of the best units in game. You try it out and you spam it a little bit too much, and suddenly your Mortera is at like 30 or 40 win rate. That didn't work out that much. It's really one of those specific counter picks. So if you pick it in the right moment, super strong. If you pick it too early, it's not going to do that much for you.
Let's find out then in our day number 2 quarterfinals of the Europe preliminaries right here. It's Oba versus Opa, separated by one letter and roughly 3 generations. Ababo knows every ABBA song by heart. Cyber Opa was maybe there when they came out. Let's find out Ababo with that first pick, the Shiho. Very contested unit so far in these Europe preliminaries, say.
Yeah, I would definitely say that she is one of the best units for tournament play. It's a little bit different. I mentioned it yesterday as well for tournament play and just playing on the leaderboards normally. On tournament play, you have that full best of 5, and you kind of have to take your chance for your Shio to just land. Shio, in the end, is just such a strong unit. It's dominant, and it does a little bit of everything. The other side, we do go for a Stark and a Megumi.
Yeah, Stark Megumi. Oh, dangerous combo there coming out, though. So we've got that Vanessa, we've got the Dark Zenitsu as well. Didn't quite pay off for Smokes in that last round, but a Ragdoll on the field as well. Some crits, he's going to love them.
Oh, I'm liking the draft from Cyber Opa right now. It's definitely fully controlling and countering the draft of everything that Opabo is giving, but he still has a slot 4 and slot 5. The Ragdoll's great counter to the Zenitsu. We have seen it before. The Josephine is a great counter against stuns. There's already 2 stun units on the field. So let's see what Opabo has in his slot 4 and his slot 5. Is he going to go more towards Bruiser Sustain? We're going to go, yes, exactly, Bruiser Sustain with a self-healer and a healer for the whole team.
Yeah, providing a lot of sustain coming through right there, but still some damage being packed right there. I've seen him sniping before with a Mystic, even through a setup as well from the Monkey. 5th pick for Cyber Opa, how do you interrupt?
Yeah, let's see what he can do. You could even go towards the side where you just simply go for a Leo. You have 2 speed scalers on the field, but it's going to go for Pajana. So that is a light pony band right there, and we also lose both of those units while we go into this match.
Yeah, pretty respectable bans there from both of the sides. We're likely to be taking through speed lead and a HP lead then on the side of Cyber Opa as we're going into our day 2 quarterfinals, match 2 here between Cyber Opa and Obabo. Who's going to get that first point?
I'm not too sure if I would go for an HP lead over your 28 speed lead. In the end, speed is almost always better than HP, but curious to see what his plan was behind that.
Yeah, let's find out if he just wants to be super tanky throughout. Josephine does get that provoke on the Dark Zenitsu right there. Vanessa has a defense break opportunity. You're going into that fight, Megumi lands it as well.
Oh, that's a great land right there, but what do provokes have to say about that? The HP will in the end stack out this Dark, but we have an instant despair stun on this Dark, not going to be taking his next turn.
Yeah, crucial that he got that little stun right there. That defense break is still going to survive a bit longer with a 2-turn as well. I mean, Megumi, you're going to have to start stunning and controlling.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Josephine, where can you land your stuns? Well, there's only one option to stun, and you're not going to deal any damage to it, but does go for the stun right there.
He does. Misty, not fully stacked up just as yet. You've got that skill 2 to provide some more damage through that defense break. Just going for the skill 1 then. That's still damage though.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. All you need is a defense break setup right there, but also the damage just simply coming in from the Zenitsu. In the end, Zenitsu had a slight damage decrease on that balance patch, but it's very slightly. It's still a great scaler on speed and crit rate.
I was going to say, where did that slight decrease come from, say? Because I'm looking there, that's still a lot. Big stuns as well from the Shiho.
That was a great all or nothing. Even the wrong element, everything is taken out. And his Zenitsu loves those setups with all of the defense breaks. This is definitely an uphill battle for Cyber Opa right now.
Yeah, super uphill. And now we're maybe going to start turn cycling through with this Dark Zenitsu. I mean, Monkey's going to have that skill 3, can get off the Josephine, and Ragdoll against 4. Ooh.
Yeah, Ragdoll against 4 is definitely not going to happen. Back in the days, people did like to go for Vampire Ragdolls, but even that, I don't see it happening because there's just so many stun potentials. Plus, there's a full hit on that single unit right now from this Zenitsu.
Yeah, and he's cleaned it up right there. Obabo setting the stage with a 1-0 lead currently over Cyber Opa in this Europe preliminaries. Just shows how much damage he had there, say, and how dangerous that Dark Zenitsu still is.
Yeah, the Dark Zenitsu, sure, you don't have the cycling on the skill 2. That was the actual part which was hard nerfed. But the damage output, I've seen it somewhere posted that it went from 43k damage to 41k damage. That's barely a nerf. We can handle that. And Obaba has definitely shown that.
He definitely has. So now we're going into the first round of these stack bans for everyone. Remember, Anything banned from now on will not be able to be used in any of the future drafts that happen during this match. So it means Dark Zenitsu and that Oliver have been taken out. I like it from Cyberopa. I don't think he could have dealt with it in future sets.
Yeah, I definitely do think he really did struggle with that, but it's also interesting to see for Obabo to right away go for an Oliver. And playing a Shiho into Obabo is maybe not the best of plays. The thing is, he still has a Bracto, so Obabo cannot really go for an Etna in slot 2, which he normally would like to do, but he's therefore going to go for a Steel on Stark.
Yeah, Stark was still providing, 10k hits yesterday from some of those skill ones, say, providing a lot of damage through Cyberopa right now. Doesn't have the option of Oliver as a speed lead. He does have that Gojo at some point if he wanted it.
Yeah, I could go for the Gojo, but we're actually going to go back to a good old trusted Megumi. So we have the Shio Megumi combination right there. Big question is, does he go for more support route or does he go more for SCC route right now?
Let's find out. Third pick coming in. Oh, we're going back to that fight in Asuke from yesterday. And he switched it out for the Gojo in the end.
Interesting. I think he's thinking that Obabo is not going to take a Megumi plus a Vanessa, which is a very uncommon pair. So therefore, you can just leave it out if you don't like to play against it, or if you don't like to play it with it yourself. But then again, there's not too much setup for this Gojo just yet.
No, not right now. And he's bringing some sustain through in the form of Anavel and that light pony as well there. So, I mean, it's great, but probably needs at least one more damage in that fifth pick.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be aiming for the damage in the fifth pick, but also Cyberopa is definitely really setting up. I have to win turn 1, otherwise the enemy has way more sustain, way more bruiser added. We're drafting a Neftis plus a Light Twin Angels right there.
Yep, exactly. Setting up for it. Does Obaba look to turtle up a little bit more now? Because he doesn't really necessarily need to contest. Can probably survive through any of those hits. Oh!
Ooh, that's a great opportunity for a Mortero right there. I'm not 100% sure if I wouldn't have rather just seen a Juno, but Mortero could be great, and it is also instantly respected, same as that Neftis.
Yeah, respect those units. Get them out right there. We've got a 24 speed lead versus a 33. Going into our set 2 here of the Europe preliminaries between Cyberopa and Ababo. Can Ababo carry on with these clean victories?
Yeah, let's see if first turn, or actually the first 2 turns belong to Cyberopa. Does connect the stun right there. We can go for an AoE strip, but do we cut in with the Stark? We do actually cut in with the Stark.
We do, and we do get resisted. No provokes coming out, and there's no strip on those Light Twin Angel as well, but damage is starting to come through.
Damage is definitely there. Now the big question is, Light Twin Angels, we definitely have to go for a strip, but you kind of also just want to go for an increased cooltime on that Annabelle.
You do, but there's the threat stay as well right there. You've got this fight in Asuki. You need some provokes. Oh.
Yep, not getting those provokes, so that's just some girl sprayer coming in into the turn, cycling off this Light Unicorn. So the team on Fobab was once again looking very lively.
It is. Cyberopa couldn't make use of that first turn fully right there, say, and I think because of that right now, it looks like Ababa's going to be able to sustain through this.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to have damage output from the side of Cyberopa right now, because you don't have defense breaks, which the Inosuke kind of needs to kill things. Sure, you do get an attack buff, which is nice for the additional damage stacking on the Shiho, but is it going to be enough? That is the big question, because in the end, Obaba does have a lot of damage with this Stark.
He does have so much damage right here, and now you can provide those 3-turn defense breaks, get some slows, lands pretty much everything, and even gets an extra turn. Can you kill the twins?
Oh, instantly taken out right there. And also landing on the Inosuke is a little bit more difficult. It has a passive similar to a Nyx passive, but in this case, did not matter at all.
No, it didn't. There you go. The threat stay is on that Stark. You're hitting through, but you've always got Vanessa to revive it, even if you kill it.
Yeah, we do have a cleanse over there, but not too much damage flying in just yet. We did get a bounce, but the bounce did not happen to strip or armor break.
No, it didn't. Immunity back up on the field as well, then. That's not what the fighter in Asuke wants to see. I know he's 1 turn away, but still.
Yeah, it's 1 turn away, but also fighting full immunity. He's also opted to go for the Vanessa first, which is adding more damage to this Stark.
Yeah, more damage that he has. Can you set up a defense break if you're on this Vanessa right here? Lands it on that Shihose.
Wrong element, defense break. Oh, we also have the cycling from the Annabelle right there. That's a defense break that's here to stay. Stark, how much damage are we talking today?
Yep, how much are we talking today? Oh, I mean, maybe she's got something to say.
Well, still got to see the Stark over there. Good old 22k, and this Inosuke is definitely not going to perform a solo over here, because this is going to be a really rough a head start with that defense break.
There you go, Ababo taking it 2-0 at the moment in this Europe preliminaries, our quarterfinals match number 2. Again, pretty damn clean, say. I mean, Cyber opted to get into that first turn, but couldn't make full use of it. And then once Ababa kind of got Annabelle online, that light unicorn as well, the Eleanor, I mean, it was pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah, it was definitely the draft. The moment he went into the Gojo, he kind of gave away, I'm going to go for AoE CC style. And Obaba read that like a book, went for the right support units at the right moment with the NFL, with the Eleanor, and it just worked out very well.
It definitely did. We're going into our second of these stack pre-bans right here then. So we've got Zenitsu and that Oliver off the field. Seimei being taken away and that Ragdoll. Maybe it's a bit of an opportunity for something like an Etna later on then, say.
Yeah, that's definitely an Etna opener right there. And on the other side, it's more of a Nefty / AoE CC kind of style opener. So let's see what the two gentlemen will go for that. This time around, we're contesting Vanessa first rather than a Shiho.
Yeah, it does mean that Cyber can look to use that Shiho right there. We saw the Gojo being the speed last time, but I think Megumi is a better option.
Yeah, going for the Megumi is kind of denying the Etna because I think Obaba was trying to bait out for Cyber Opa to go for a Shiho so he can draft in an Etna. He can still go for the Etna right here. He could even pair it together with the Shiho because at least the Ragdoll's definitely not going to be on the field.
Yeah, look at this, bringing out that Shiho, bringing out some more sustain through that Eleanor as well. Nick's coming out on the field though, and Layla. Okay, we're changing things up from Cyber Opa.
Yeah, that's definitely a well-drafted position for that Seimei right there. But a Nobara plus a Mortera, there's not just one problem that's called a Seimei, there's a second problem that's called Mortera.
Yeah, and she could be huge right here, especially if you're bringing in a Neftis as well. Which one are you taking out?
Oh, I think you have to ban that Mortera. On the other side, I think I would be aiming at banning out the Layla because that's the proper damage output, but it's rough to say. But then again, Nobara is also such a problem in this.
Yeah, she is a problem for sure. Mind Games coming in 2 set wins at the moment for Ababa. Could be the deciding set win to make him go through to play Nef in those semi-finals, but can Cyber Up put a stop to that? She is banned out as well as the Knicks as well. So we've got 33 speed leads for both of our players going in to our SWC Europe preliminaries between Ababo and Cyber Up. Will Nobara be a thorn in his side?
Yeah, let's see. First turn does belong once again to the Shiho, but where do you land your stunts? It's going to go for the NFL. Does try to take it out. It's not connecting any of the stunts. It's not high on accuracy, I would assume, with that many resistance flying around.
A lot of resistance. Oh, it could be on the seal as well then. Managing to get that will prevent the additional turn.
Yeah, that's a lot of seal flying around, but no silence on this Nobara. So Nobara can send this S2 and does land double provoke on this NFL. You don't like to see that.
No, because it's the only one that's going to provide some sustain later on, and it did actually hit twice through.
It did hit twice through, but also you can send the skill 2 right now, but you're not landing it on this shield because the shield wasn't stripped in the process.
Yeah, I mean, Nobara's coming around one more time, say. That Annabelle's going to be very close to death at the moment, and even the others are going to go down another 25%.
Yeah, even if you stun it right now, it's still a very rough spot, and I think that was a timed out turn right there, because I'm not really sure why you would hit that with a skill 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would have gone in with the monkey right there. It's still looking good for Ababa, but there's an opportunity with a Layla coming soon.
Yeah, Layla is coming soon. Tries to send that right now. I think he should have tried that last turn with the skill 1 and then the turn later with the skill 2. Maybe just try to get some more in right there. But in this case, the Shiho is definitely providing a lot of problems. You have to land a lot of stuns right now with the ghosts.
Yeah, you do. You've gone through. You haven't got through that invincibility on the Shiho as well. And the bar is piping up.
Yeah, Nobara, pretty much everything is looking at 5% HP and everything is looking at 0% HP. Well, no, that's actually a pretty interesting needles right there. But we're looking at death right here.
We are looking at death right there. Ababa managing to take the victory right here then against Cyber Opa in our Europe preliminaries. Nobara was the thorn in his side right there, say.
Yeah, Nobara is just such a big issue. Well, in the end, there would have otherwise been the issue of a Mortera, which does like all of those debuffs in combination with the light unicorn, which then goes for a lot of turn cycling, healing, cleanses, all of those kind of good things. So it was difficult for Cyber Opa to draft this kind of style into Obabo in the first place.
Definitely was. Wow. Kicking off today with 2 3-0s then, say. Very clean matches going through as well. I'm not sure if we'll have a 3-0 when he's obviously Neff versus Ababo in our semi-final later today. I also like the little thinker pose that Ababo had on his little celebration right there. But again, 2 players that probably line up with a lot of people's predictions that have made it through those first 2 matches, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the predictions where yesterday's predictions, at least for mine, were definitely not that correct. So far for today, very correct.
Definitely very correct. Let's see if that trend will continue right there. We'll